everybody. I'm here with Doug. He's in my lap. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, but what can you do? I'm busy with kids. Anyway, I know a few years ago I made a video on how I make my greeting cards, and that was great, but I want to update it because I now have my own printer. I don't outsource my printing anymore. So I wanted to show you step by step how I turn original artwork like this. I just finished this little Jimi Hendrix painting. I'm going to make it into a greeting card. I'm going to put it through my scanner onto the computer and then print it out. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So let's get started. Throughout this video, you're going to see this image before I fixed it. So right in that little area right there, you're going to see a strange watermark, like a ring. And I saw that after I made all the footage, and I just don't like it anymore. So I fixed it, but I just wanted to let you know just for continuity of the video. All right, so over here in the corner, I have an Epson V600 scanner that I've had for a few years. I'm gonna go ahead and line it up in here. So I got the Epson's V600 because it was compatible with my laptop. And I have, gosh, what do I have? It's a MacBook Air. And then I looked up what scanner was compatible with it. So I just decided on this. I've had it for, I want to say 5 years now, and I've had no problems with it. It's been great. So let's go over here to my dirty computer. Okay, I've got it connected to the scanner. This is just a preview of my last piece. So now I'm going to preview the current art that's in there, and it's just giving me a little preview scan. That looks fine. I just make sure my resolution is 600 dpi. That's the main thing. You're gonna have to look through whatever settings. I probably should have, what are my scan settings? Blah, blah, blah. Mode, photo mode. Yeah. Photo V, 24-bit color and 600 dpi. Scanning quality, I'm gonna put that to high, and let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and scan, and then it will be on my computer, and we'll head on over to Photoshop. All right, I have it in a folder, the scanned image in a folder called Scanned Watercolor. That just helps me, you know, kind of keep an unfiltered raw file in case I need to go back and do anything. You are totally going to make fun of my lack of Photoshop skills. I'm embarrassingly bad at Photoshop. So anyway, here it is in my computer screen. Good Lord, it's got like schmutz all over it. At any rate, so I'm just going to go ahead and crop. If you don't know, the crop symbol is over here on the left hand side. Hey kitty kitty, don't step on my computer. And I am going to go ahead and crop it down just outside where the color is, and I can kind of increase the size there and hit enter. I can always go into image and image size and see, whoops, what my inches are here. I have a little over 6 inches for width and a little over 8 inches for height. That's fine for, it's kind of like my, in my head aspect ratio, because it's going to be reduced down to my greeting card size, which are usually around 5.5 inches long by 4.25 inches wide ish. It's never, the image is not necessarily exactly, and when I cut them down myself, they're around those dimensions. So okay, anyway, I just wanted to show you that. The symbol there is getting cut off a little bit, so I can increase it. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm giving a very embarrassing tutorial here in Photoshop. I probably really shouldn't be giving a Photoshop tutorial in here, but basically I'm just showing you what I do to clean it up. And then I don't want the white part, See, if I were to just save the image like this, there'd be spots and imperfections, little bits of dust from the scanner, or little smudges from my fingers or whatever. And, you know, sometimes I can go in, as I zoom in, you can see, you know, there's pencil marks here. I actually like to keep the pencil marks. I think that looks cool, but maybe you don't. And there just might be little specks and bits here that I might want to remove, which I will do with the spot healing tool. And let's see, how about this one right here is a little awkward. Where is it? Do you see that that dot right there? So there, bam, that one's a little awkward too. And sometimes I can't differentiate the spots from my computer, my dirty computer screen, from the actual image. So, but you see right here, I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. There is a spot on the image itself. You can see it moving around. So I'm gonna remove that. There's probably better ways to do this. I'm gonna take my eraser tool. I like to have the hardness at 100% for my eraser. And then I'll increase the size a little bit. For the white part, see, as I erase here, I don't know if you can see that through the screen, but when I erase, it's whiter. It's much, it's like there's a brightness to it. If I keep it the regular dirty texture of the paper, it's going to show on the card and it's not going to look good. So I make an eraser mark, and then I go in to image. Oh, kitty, come on. Okay, so adjustments, brightness, contrast. Okay, so I'm gonna as I increase my brightness, this dirty part of the textured paper should start matching the erased part of the paper until you can't see the erased part anymore. But I don't want to do it too much because it would alter the colors. I'm gonna hit OK. But it looks pretty good. That's one way to do it. There are other ways to do it. I think you can mess around with probably levels. I'm not going to do that right now. But anyway, that's how I do that. Please let me, you know, and then you can do the saturation of your colors and everything in Photoshop. I found that, well, let's see, I'll mess around. The colors that come through from your original scan to print, a lot of times they need to be adjusted because, good Lord, Doug, because what you see on your screen is different than what is printed out. And I like to reduce my saturation a little bit, just a little smidgy here, whoops, saturation. So I have it, let's see, that was the level it was at. And I'm gonna take, if I go all the way down, then it gets basically absence of color, but I don't want, I just don't want it too bright. It just looks too crazy. So I'm gonna do a -12, see how that does. And then maybe go in. You could also do this in Lightroom if you pay, because if you do the Adobe suite, and I used to pay for Lightroom and I did it in that, but I am on a tight budget. So I'm just paying for Photoshop. It's a monthly fee of somewhere around 20 some bucks a month. Anyway, right now I kind of feel like Photoshop might be an old school thing at this point, but I don't know. Do I see any more blemishes that need to be fixed? You get the picture. I think we're good for now. And I'm gonna go ahead and save this to my computer. And then I'm going to print it. All right, this is my beautiful new printer. I'm so excited about it. My son always laughs because whenever somebody comes over to the house, I say, oh, you have to see my fancy new printer. So it's the Prograph Pro-310. I'm just gonna turn it on. I don't know what to say. So far, I've been working it for 3 or 4 months now, and it's been incredible. But I will say, I'm not joking, it took me 2 months to get this thing working. They do not give you intuitive instructions with this printer. It is a beautiful fine art printer. It does high-end prints, very archival, they'll last a lifetime kind of prints, museum quality prints, but it definitely took me a really long time to get it to work. So I'm going to pull the back open. The back slot is where I do the paper feed. And for some cards, I've been using the Canon Premium Fine Art Smooth. Really, really nice paper. It's slightly off-white, and I would like to do a pure bright white, so I'm switching over to a new one, and I can't remember the brand. I'll let you know how I like it. But this feeds in the back. This is the main feed that I use. There's also a feed up here that I've never used. And you have to register every paper with this printer. You have to go through this whole thing. It's such a pain. Oh my gosh, it's such a pain. But once I got it, I got it. I don't remember how I got it to work. I finally got it to work, and yeah. So anyway, let's go to the software. All right, I use the professional print and layout software that you have to load it onto your computer and everything. So it gives you this page. I already have it set up. I don't know if you can see. I don't know how involved I should get for this video. I think I should make a separate video for this. But anyway, you have to make sure that it's the right printer. You have to make sure that you have it on multiple images, because I am going to have 2 different images in here, or the same image, but 2. You have to make sure you have the right paper. So Premium Fine Art Smooth is what I'm using. It has to be the right paper size. Manual feed tray. I'm going to have highest quality, although I wonder if I should try standard quality. It might help with saving some of my ink. Ink is so expensive. And then you can adjust these parameters here, but I don't need to do that right now. ICC profile. If you get a printer, you're going to have to learn finding out the ICC profile of each paper, and it's the Canon Pro Premium Fine Art Smooth, and that is it. So, okay, file open. Go to my cards. Jimi Hendrix should be, there we go. So open that up. Good Lord, my animals are super annoying. Okay, so now it's here, and I'm gonna drag my image individually into these little slots, and I just center them manually. I could go over here, and I will once I figure it out, but anyway, I like to center it manually so that I have enough room where the fold of the greeting card will be here, and then we'll have the back, right? So I go into size. I choose 4x5, even though my cards are slightly bigger than 4x5. And then I just make sure it's centered the way I want it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and print. I hit print. It always pops this up. The selected paper size does not have wide margins, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. And then it previews all the settings are correct. And yes, they are correct. And I'm gonna print. And usually what happens, let's walk this, it says it's on standby. So sometimes, oh, it says the ink has run out. Good Lord, I'm gonna have to change my ink tank. That's actually perfect, because now I can give you a little ink cartridge changing lesson here. So make sure you get the right ink. For this printer, the PFI 5100 is what you want. Okay, so I'm just gonna open this, and I'll say, okay, cover is open, and then it's going to take a little bit. Okay, so it came out. I just had to open it up and it kind of does its work for a little bit and then it brings it out. So you can see this is all replacement ink. They're all from the same company. The original ink that I got, these are the two last ones left. So I'm gonna replace. It's really easy. It's very intuitive. But obviously I followed all the instructions very carefully when I first got this because I was so paranoid of breaking this thing. Okay, now it says close the cover. So I will close the cover and then it will reset and then I'll be ready to print. It's been doing this for quite a while. Sometimes you just kind of have to let it do its thing and let it run through. The computer, the professional print and layout software on my computer says it's sending. Sometimes if I gently do that with the paper and make sure it's set in properly, that helps. I don't know if it really does, but okay, there we go. And then it lets me know printing will start from the manual feed tray, load a sheet of paper. I did because I kind of jostled it a little bit, and you just hit start print and you hit OK, and then it will go. Well, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, let's cut and score and then stamp the back and we'll be done. I actually may go in and tweak the color a little bit more. It looks a little washed out to me, especially in his hand there, but I don't know. Oh, and then there's something else weird going on that I noticed right here. What's that? Okay, so I'm gonna have to tweak the image a little bit more on the computer, but just for the sake of this video, let's finish up. I have on, hold on a sec. I have it laid on my paper cutter here. Another thing I wanna mention is a lot of these things I had to purchase over the course of years. One of my first card making investments was this nice paper cutter. It was around it was under $150, I think. But anyway, that was one of the first things I invested in. And then my scanner, well, I got the scanner first. Computer, scanner, cutter, printer, and then of course envelopes and sleeves and paper. So anyway, I've gotten to the point where I just pretty much eyeball, but as you can see where it's gonna cut, it's at 5.5 inches. These are for 4¼ by 5.5 inch cards. I don't sell 5x7s too often, but I think I might start delving into that and we'll see how that goes. But right now I found that I've been really successful with this size. Now I can't find my paper score. Oh, good Lord. Here it is. It's normally underneath. I can just tuck it right underneath this, but I put it away while I was making this video because I guess I got nervous or something. I don't know. Anyway, always make sure your surfaces are clean. It sucks when you get a mar of some sort on your card and then you can't sell it or you have to sell it for a discount. So I just make sure it's all clean. I talked about this in my last video. This was a slide paper cutter, but it sucked. It was terrible, but it has a score feature and the score works perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and score that where it needs to fold. Okay, and then I'll fold it. I just realized something. I totally messed up. That is a real pain. Check this out. It's way too short in the back. I don't normally do this. Probably would help if I actually used my measurements properly. So my bad. What I can do with a mess up like this is I can always cut it and then mount it onto other paper and just sell it as, you know, like a little bit more pricey card even. Like it has a different cardstock color in the back. So it's not the end of the world. Okay, I'll score this one better, hopefully. Let's hope. It's really, really close. but I think it'll be okay. It'll be perfect, perfect. I should have scored it right near the symbol. It's a pretty cool card. All right, let's go stamp the back. For a very long time, I used to hand sign the back of every single card. It was such a waste of time. I have invested in a beautiful stamp that has my logo on it. It would have to be a separate video on how I made the logo. I had to design it myself, so I probably made it more complicated than you would have to do, but I wanted it to be that way. So anyway, let's go ahead and stamp the back. I actually should wear my gloves. So here's my ink pad. This little metal dot shows exactly where the bottom is. I'm gonna put it in my ink, line it up with the bottom, and there's my logo. Allegra Rose Brown original artwork. So that's my little stamp that I put on the back. All right, so we have the card. It's blank interior, and it's got my stamp on the back. And I have an envelope. I like the kind that you don't have to lick, but unfortunately for this cardstock, the only cards that I could find that matched, because they're slightly off-white, were the kind that you have to lick. I also order sleeves that have just the opening at the end, not the kind that have the flap that has an adhesive closure. I have purchased those in the past, but it takes more time. These take way less time, and time is money. And there you have the finished greeting card product. And now I will put it, let's see, is there an empty slot for it? Well, there's one here at the bottom. And I'll make more, and I'll fulfill the rest of those. What else? I mean, there's a lot more information that I could share about making greeting cards. Of course, getting more into detail with the printer, with the scanner, with the programs, with Photoshop. I don't want to be the one doing Photoshop. Anyway, if you have any questions, you can ask me, and I will do my best. And then professional print and layout, which is the software that comes with the Canon Pro-310. I really, really like the printer. I will say this was a huge investment for me, and it took me years to do it. For many, many years, I did not have a printer. I used a local print shop. As a matter of fact, it's just a business center. And the reason, so they don't do fine or giclée archival quality prints. They do printing for businesses. But they made some pretty nice cards, and so I used them for years. It's just that over time, I noticed that their print consistency, the quality wasn't great. Sometimes they'd look great and sometimes they didn't. And I talked to them about it, and they just said that, we're a business print center. We can't cater to, because I was asking questions, is there any way for me to get my stuff printed because they said that they had to change their toner, or maybe the toner was down or something. And I said, well, is there any way that I could get mine printed right after you change it? And they're like, no. So, I mean, it's fine. I just bought my own printer, and occasionally I still use them if I'm in a pinch. Maybe I ran out of ink and I didn't order enough in time. That's the other thing. There's positives and negatives, but if you have trouble finding a way to print your work, there are online resources. There's Vistaprint, there's Moo. I mean, there's so many. There's print on demand sites. There's a lot that you can look into. And then obviously I recommend your local print shops if you have any locally. So, because that way you can talk to the people and they can work with you if they have good customer service. Some places don't. I understand that. So you just kind of have to go by trial and error with all that. What else? Oh, here. Let's compare the two. Here's the original, and here's the card. So the last little step here that I wanted to show you is I actually fixed this painting. I went back in, remember that weird ring that was there, that watermark? I went back with some watercolors and fixed that, rescanned, and then touched it up again in Photoshop. And I want to show you the difference. Boy, it's just, to me, it's a huge difference. I don't know if you can see. This is the one that I made with you just now with that weird watermark there. And I used the brightness a lot more than I did on this one. And I just think this one looks so much better. I did a little tiny bit of the brightness adjustment, and then I mostly just did eraser tool around the edge to make sure it was white. And then I did a little tiny bit of the spot healing tool just around the edges, just a bit. I think this one is way, way better than this. So sometimes it takes a little bit of trial and error. And then also, you know, sometimes you'll catch mistakes through that editing process. And then I wanted to mention, I have these on Etsy now for sale as a 3-pack. I don't sell individual cards on Etsy anymore because of the shipping price. I had done it in the past where I would sell individual cards and I would just put it in an envelope and send it with a stamp. But I like to have tracking, because if you just put a stamp on it, it could get lost in the mail. It has happened. I didn't get it returned to me, but someone claimed that I didn't send it, or they said that they didn't get it. And so I had to send another one. So from now on, I'm just selling 3-packs of cards. And these are on Etsy right now. I'll put the link there if you're interested, but for those of you who would like to learn how to, or who want to sell your own cards on Etsy, that's what I do. I put a receipt in there, of course, and then I use these mailers here. They're 8x6-inch mailers, and I put those in there with the receipt. And yeah, that's how I sell those. Okay, so that's it. Say goodbye to Doug. Doug, say goodbye to everybody. I know everybody puts their dog in, but he is the cutest little boy in the whole world. Doug, look at the camera. Look right here. Doug. There you go.